It's amazing to have you today as a Dallas Cowboys fans, and we have more questions to ask ourselves after drafting different players in this 2026 NFL draft class. So we have more questions about our selections. On my side, I was satisfied by the draft that we selected. First of all, let me talk about Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs, one of the best safety in this class 2026. We selected a talented player, of course, and what we are waiting is to see what these draft players, they are going to do for our new season, upcoming new season, especially Caleb Downs. I remember when I was watching this selection on TV, I have seen the excitement and happiness of the Jerry Jones and Bland Shotema after selecting Caleb Downs. And on social media, people, radio, TV, people was talking about this amazing selection of the Caleb Downs. And on your side, what do you think? What do you think about selecting Caleb Downs? We have seen on Friday Caleb Downs on TV, on press conference. He was received and welcomed by the Jolly John and Blind Shortheimer. So they was very excited. He was selected alongside with the Lawrence, and these two first draft pick, they are the one who we are waiting to see what they are going to change in the Dallas Cowboys. You know, on Tuesday, Jerry Jones said that Cowboys decided to tag George Pickens. He was given a franchise tag. He's going to play 1 year as a franchise tag on franchise tag contract. So he would be given $27 million. So you have many questions, of course, about why Dallas Cowboys didn't extend the contract of the George Pickens. And of course, that question, me and myself, I have that question, but we have to analyze and talk about this one clearly. So, George Pickens was not extended. His contract was not extended for a long-term contract. So, he was asking more for the Dallas Cowboys, and the front office decided not to give that what he wanted. So, inside of the team, there is some news saying that George Pickens was asking more than $30 million per year in order to sign a new contract, and he was going to be one of the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. But Cowboys decided not to do that. You know that we still have other players who earn more and huge amount of the money after signing their contract, like CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. It was not easy for the Dallas Cowboys to give that money to George Pickens. As you know, we sign a contract with new players. The amount we pay on them must go with the salary cap. So that's why Cowboys decided not to extend the contract of the George Pickens. You know, everyone knows that he's a good player. No one can judge him saying that he's not a good player. He's a good player, of course, but we cannot sign him for a long-term contract without, of course, looking on the salary cap. So that's why front office and the Jerry Jones in general, they decided to give him a franchise tag. There is now more chances that George Pickens will be traded. Yes, there is more chance that he will be traded. And himself, he was saying that he's not happy to leave Dallas Cowboys. He said that he's ready to play for the Dallas Cowboys, but negotiation failed. He will not continue to play for a long time for the Dallas Cowboys. He's going to play this 1 year on franchise tag, and after this year, he will leave Dallas Cowboys. But inside, Dallas is ready to trade him. Of course, maybe he's ready to trade him. And you have to think about also a kicker, Brandon Aubrey, on this Tuesday also signed a new contract with the Dallas Cowboys. And he is among of the one and best paid kicker in the NFL. Brandon Aubrey, one of the good and consistent player for the Dallas Cowboys in the previously 2 seasons. He was signed for the new long-term contract for the 4 years, and he will be one of the best paid kicker in the football. So we signed the key player, of course. Brandon Aubrey is a good player, and we tagged George Pickens. We still have Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb as our best and fast wide receiver. But you have to think about defensive side. We struggled last season. We struggled due to poor performance of the defensive side, and we fired our defensive coordinator, and we hired a new defensive coordinator, Christian Parker, from the Philadelphia Eagles. More people, more experts, more fans, they are still waiting to see what Christian Parker is going to change for the Dallas Cowboys. As he said, after leaving the Dallas Cowboys, he said he's going to change different things, especially the way of playing, the way of formation. And we are waiting to see the first game of the Dallas Cowboys to see what he changed. Defensively, we was weak last season. Offensively, we was on class, we was on high level. But you cannot win the games in the NFL without having the good defense. You can score more touchdowns, but also you can lose. That's what happened to us. We was good on offensive side, but he was poor on the defensive side. So that's why front office this offseason tried to sign more players on the defensive side. And at the end of the last season, we signed 2 players, Quinnen Williams from the Eagles and Kenny Clark. So we was inside of the strengthening the defensive side. After leaving of the Micah Parsons, our defense showed a poor performance. So we have to do something. Of course, we were supposed to do something this offseason. So that's why we signed different players on that position, on that side. We signed different players, but we still have another issues on edge rush position. So you can ask yourself, who can be the solution for the Dallas Cowboys on that position? So we talked about on Max Crosby possibility of the joining Dallas Cowboys. It was pleasure to have him as our edge rush, but deal was not done. We signed Lashan Gary as an edge rush, but talks internally, that's a rumor, it's not official confirmed, but it is a rumor that Max Crosby could join Dallas Cowboys anytime. Talks still is going on. If Cowboys decide to trade George Pickens, there is more chances that Max Crosby could join the Dallas Cowboys. So that's what I can say. And if things will happen, make sure that Cowboys need edge rush. That's true. And no one can doubt about that one. And they need a person who is coming for the Dallas to compete directly. So we need a player who is on caliber of NFL, who is not coming in the Dallas to build his name. We need a player who convinced fans, who convinced experts, who convinced NFL in general. So Maxi is one of the best edge rusher in the NFL currently. Yes, that's one. That's what can say. He is one of the best edge rush in NFL. No one can doubt about that one. But more issue about him, it is injuries. So he is an injury-prone player, but he's a proven star. If living in the Dallas Cowboys, more things can be changed. Teams will worry about Dallas. And after 30 years of waiting for a championship, so we can do now. We can do now. So, we signed more players. We signed more players. And the fans, they are waiting to see another NFL champion. More fans. I think they have not seen any trophy for the Dallas Cowboys in these 30 years. So the last NFL championship we won. It was in the previous 30 years. So there is more fans of the Dallas Cowboys who has not seen that one. So we need to see Dallas Cowboys winning NFL Super Bowl. We need to see NFL Super Bowl in the Dallas Cowboys. So I have seen Caleb Downs on this Friday where he was being shown those Super Bowls that was won by the Dallas Cowboys in the last time. But 30 years of waiting, it's a many years, my friends, a many years. So I think it is the final end of the Jerry John. He won the Super Bowl in 30 years left. So we can do another thing. We cannot be a contender only. So we can just compete with other team in NFL so that we can get the best and our first NFL Super Bowl champion. We can do, of course, we have a good player, we have a good staff, we have a good front office. They can sign anyone. That this is American team, my friend. This is American. We are now in the period of the more news and more updates. As you know, this week was very busy in the NFL draft. Day to day, from the Thursday up to day, we have seen more selections in the NFL draft 2026. But I want to talk about one key player who was selected, Caleb Down. So more people, more fans was very excited and was very happy to select Caleb Downs and to see another safety in the Dallas Cowboys. And he was selected after one day. Cowboys announced about George Pickens' situation. We needed players. We needed more players, especially on the defensive side. We have more crisis last season on that side. So in this NFL draft, we tried to sign more players and select more players on that position, the defensive side. So we have a huge work to do next season. As you know, it was 2 consecutive seasons without qualifying for the NFL playoffs, so that's a shame for the front office. So this year, this off season, they tried to sign more players on defensive side, and in NFL draft we selected more players on defensive side. So we hope that after leaving of the new defensive coordinator Christian Parker, there is something that is going to change. So that's what we are waiting. And Jerry Jones has said that this year, this new season is going to be a revolution season for the Dallas Cowboys. We can wait, and of course we can predict more from this upcoming new season, and with new images in the Dallas Cowboys. So, we have a new defensive coordinator, and one of the big questions that we faced last season, it was the weakness in the defensive side, and we decided to fire Eberflus and sign new coordinator in the defensive side. So he tried to sign players who will understand his system that he brings in the Dallas Cowboys. And in this draft, we tried to select players on the defensive side so that we can strengthen and rebuild the Dallas Cowboys defensively. As offensively, we are good. We scored more touchdowns last season, but defensively we lost. That's why we didn't qualify for the playoffs. So, Cowboys fans, you may give us your reaction about this NFL draft and how off season is going on right now. We have seen different players who were signed this off season. So we have more players who signed by the Dallas Cowboys, but still, question is on pass rush position. I don't know if front office is still doing something on the edge rush, but we need edge rush. We need edge rush because after trading Micah Parsons, we have a gap on edge rush position. So there was talks with the Max Crosby in recent days, but we don't know if a negotiation is still happening on both sides. But Max Crosby is one of the best, and he's the best edge rush in the NFL, and he was traded by the Raiders, but finally the deal failed. Now he'll turn back to the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Cowboys can do whatever and everything to bring him in the Dallas. But this will happen after trading George Pickens. That's another situation that is restricting the deal of the Max Crosby. George Pickens was tagged on franchise tag to be a player of the Dallas Cowboys on 1 year, but contract discussion with Cowboys failed. To discuss about long-term contract failed. So we are waiting to see if something happened, but it looks like George Pickens will be traded by the Dallas Cowboys because there is no intention of the extending his contract. As officially Jerry Jones said, there is no plan for extending the contract of the George Pickens. So by now, he will play for the Dallas Cowboys on tag this upcoming season, but there is much that will be traded. Of course, he will be traded. So that's why he is not in the plan of the Dallas Cowboys. So we have CeeDee Lamb as our first wide receiver, but we need backup for the CeeDee Lamb because, as you see, George Pickens will not stay in the Dallas Cowboys. So we need another wide receiver. Even if we selected this young talented player Smith in this draft as a wide receiver, but of course he will need a time to adapt. That's why I may say that he's a good player. Of course, that's what I can say. But of course, CeeDee Lamb will need another big challenge. So if we trade George Pickens, we will also need a replacement, and also we need a clear and true replacement for the Mika Parsons, and we need another new edge rusher. That position is a key position for the Dallas Cowboys, and I think Max Crosby or Miles Scaletti, there can be a good option for the front office. So I think they are doing something behind the scenes to try to sign among of these two players, either Max Crosby or Miles Scaletti, because they are good player in the NFL. They are proven stars, so they can just change the entire defensive side of the Dallas Cowboys. So the upcoming season will be tough for the Dallas Cowboys. The upcoming season will be the season for proving that Cowboys can be a contender for the Super Bowl in next season. So, Christian Parker has much work to do with this defensive side. So we was not good last season defensively, so that's why we tried to upgrade this side. So by signing different key players in this NFL off season and in the free agents, so no, and we drafted and we selected more players in the defensive side. So that's what I can say about that one. As you know, Dallas Cowboys still fighting for their glory, to get their glory back. It's more than 30 years without winnings for the Super Bowl. That's a shame for the Dallas Cowboys front office, and there's more fans of the Dallas Cowboys by now. 30 years more. It's more. They don't know Cowboys winning Super Bowl. They have curiosity to see that one, and more people wish for the Dallas Cowboys to be a champion for the Super Bowl this upcoming season. But it's not easy. Other teams tried to strengthen themselves. So let's wait. Maybe it is the miracle year for the Cowboys, but fans, they're waiting to see the upcoming season. But me, myself, you yourself, more people, more experts, they have curiosity to see how Cowboys will look like this upcoming season. We signed more players, my friend. We signed more players to strengthen our squad, to strengthen our team defensively, especially. So, of course, me, I have a curiosity, and you have a curiosity, so to see what will be a change. Staff, we have a new defensive coordinator, Christian Parker. Schottenheimer, he is still there. So we have more curiosity to see how Dallas Cowboys will play in upcoming season. Another update, it is that Cowboys will play the third game in upcoming season in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro, with San Francisco 49ers. So it is another big game out of the USA. It will be in Brazil, the third game of the NFL. And this game will be very, 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 very good game out of the USA. So we hope that more people will move to Brazil to see this game. More fans of the Dallas Cowboys. So that's the updates that we want to share with you. So Cowboys, they are approaching for the new season. As we said, we signed more players. We drafted the best players. It is our time to get another champion. It's a time to be a champion. And it is a time to prove that we are American team, my friend. So it's a time to prove that we are the best team in NFL. It's time to show our haters that we can do everything. We can do everything. We can try to compete at highest level. That's why more people we see Cowboys doing a miracle, doing something very amazing and very special in this upcoming season. So, for myself, I have confidence that team will do something special in upcoming season. So, Cowboys, after selecting Caleb Downs, now we have a talented safety, and he will lead us to a Super Bowl contention. So, let me say that Cowboys fans, are you ready? Are you ready to go with the new season? With new image, with new players, with new coaching staff, everything is okay. So we can do something, my friend. We can do something special as Dallas Cowboys. We know where we are. We are a strong team. We are American team. So 30 years of the 30 years of the waiting can end this season. So we can just get a Super Bowl for the first time. Me in my life, I don't know what I don't know Cowboys winning a Super Bowl. So maybe this is going to be my time to see Cowboys winning the Super Bowl. So that's why I'm waiting, and I think it's what you are waiting. So let us see what will happen for the Dallas Cowboys, how things will be looking like. So, and I hope we can win a Super Bowl for this upcoming season because we selected good players. Defensively, we rebuild our team well. We signed different players defensively, so it's our time. It's our time. Let's keep together. Let's fight together so we can get a Super Bowl in this 2026 NFL champion. So let me say that the selected players, it's your time to believe, to show what you have. It's your time to make fans believe in you. So it's your time to show really why you have been selected by the Dallas Cowboys, because this is American team, my friends. It's American team. It's a dream for every player to play for Cowboys. So just prove yourself and prove us, show what you have. So we are supporting you now. You are welcome to the Dallas Cowboys. So let's give them time to prove us as fans, because staff already they proven stuff. So let's see what they have. Let's see what they are bring to us. So Cowboys be happy. Jerry Jones is very happy. Fans are very happy to select Caleb Downs. Now officially, no doubt, he is a player of the Dallas Cowboys after being selected by the Dallas Cowboys. Caleb Downs was very rumored in different time to be selected by the Dallas Cowboys in this NFL 2026. And on this Thursday, on the first day of the NFL draft, he was selected as a player of the Dallas Cowboys from Ohio State University. So Caleb Downs, one of the best safety in college football, he is now a player of the Dallas Cowboys. And what he's going to bring in the Dallas Cowboys is what? That's a question you may ask yourself. He is coming in the Dallas Cowboys after a disappointing season last season, which was not good. As you have seen, we have different issues in our defensive side after leaving of the Micah Parsons. We have to build and rebuild our defensive side. In this NFL draft 2026, Dallas Cowboys tried to sign different players in the defensive side. As you know, we lost the different games last season due to weakness of the defensive side, as our offensive side did everything, but the defensive side was very weak, which contributed to loss of different games. And you know, we failed to qualify for the NFL playoffs last season. And this year, this coming new season, we tried to strengthen our defensive side. In the off season, in the free agents, we tried to sign different players, and now we are going to see if this draft, this NFL draft, can do something for us. And the first one, the first stage, it was to select Caleb Downs, one of the promising and key player for the Dallas Cowboys. I remember on this Thursday when Caleb Downs was selected by the Dallas Cowboys, I have seen the happiness for the Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones and Brian Schottenheimer, and they was very happy after selecting Caleb Downs. And when you see how this board, this staff of the Dallas Cowboys, the welcomed Caleb Downs, it is in amazing way. It was just very amazing to see how he was welcomed, and more people, more fans on social media, they tried to give their reaction after selecting Caleb Downs, because his position was a key player who was needed as a safety player in the Dallas Cowboys. So that position was very necessary for the Dallas Cowboys. But he was selected after one day where George Pickens was also used in the Dallas Cowboys on the franchise tag, as Jerry Jones announced that this player, George Pickens, would play in the Dallas Cowboys on a franchise tag. But more people saying that even if he's going to play on a franchise tag, there is many chances that he will be traded from the Dallas Cowboys. You know, Dallas Cowboys signed him on a franchise tag with the off contract, which off of the 27 millions per one season. So that's a huge money. But he wants long-term contract, but Dallas is not ready to give him that contract. So many fans, many experts, many analysts, they are still wondering about the future of the wide receiver George Pickens, and no one who can doubt about the talent of the George Pickens. But Dallas is not ready to give what he wants, so they are open to let him leave. And the many analysts believe that he will be traded, of course, even if he was tagged by playing as on franchise tag. But there is a possibility of the trading him. And you can ask yourself, of course, we have two wide receivers who are very tough, who are very good player. We have CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. You can imagine it was chance to have these two players at the same time. Of course, CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, they are good player. But if we let George Pickens leave the Dallas Cowboys, we will remain only CeeDee Lamb. As you know, last season, CeeDee Lamb suffered different injuries, even if he recovered early. But George Pickens showed how he is a super sub for the Dallas Cowboys. When CeeDee Lamb was not available, George Pickens did everything to prove his haters who was not believe in him. But so we have seen that CeeDee Lamb is a good player, but George Pickens improved his level last season. That's why he is asking a big contract in the Dallas Cowboys. But more people are still questioning about different positions that need help. As you have seen, we have edge rush position. We need people on that position. We need people. We need a player on that position. So The front office can do something because we have seen the failing of the signing Max Crosby from the Las Vegas Raiders, and after leaving of the Micah Parsons, we didn't sign any player at caliber of the Micah Parsons. That's why there is rumors about different players who could join Dallas Cowboys as edge rusher. So we have, of course, Max Crosby from the Las Vegas Raiders. As you know, if George Pickens leave Dallas Cowboys, there is more possibility that we will sign this talented, one of the best edge rusher in NFL, Max Crosby. So even if NFL draft is going on right now, but talks internally, privately between Max Crosby and Dallas Cowboys still also going on. Nothing changed. Still, Cowboys is ready to sign him as a edge rusher. Imagine that Cowboys, even if they signed other player on that position, but of course they need a caliber player. They need a player who has who proved himself, who proved the NFL. So that's why we are still on the Max Crosby. But if Max Crosby talks failed, we have another possibility of signing Miles Galletti, one of the best young talented player on his position in NFL as edge rusher. So we have two possibilities, of course, to sign among of those players. As I said, Cowboys last season suffered in a defensive side. So we scored more points and touchdowns, but defensively we was weak. That's why we failed to qualify for the playoffs. And as I said, in this offseason, front office tried to sign more players on defensive side. And in this draft class 2026, we tried to draft players on that sides, defensive sides. So, we still have our hero, Dak Prescott. We still have George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb on offensive line, and they are one of the good player that we have. But defensively, it was said that we need to sign more players. That's why in this offseason, in this class of the NFL 2026, we try to sign more players on defensive line. So, that at the end of the season, we signed Quinn Williams and Kenny Clark. There was good player. Of course, they are good players, but it was a must for the front office to sign another players. Coach Brian Schottenheimer and the defensive coordinator Christian Parker, they are going to do something special for the Cowboys fans. It was more than 30 years waiting for the championship, but we still waiting, my friend. Jerry Jones promised fans that it is the season for fighting for something big. It was 2 consecutive season without qualifying for the playoffs. That's a shame for the Dallas Cowboys, of course. That's a shame. But now, when you see how situation is going on, and when you try to think beyond, you see something changed in this off season. There is more hope that we can do something special in upcoming season. Dallas Cowboys. We signed good players. We signed those one who can do something special for the Dallas Cowboys. In this draft, after selecting Caleb Downs and Marshy Lawrence, we have a young talented players. We drafted players who are very talented. Yes, of course, we drafted the Caleb Downs and the Marshall Lawrence and the Jaishwan Belham. Uh, they are good player. Of course, they are good players. They are still young players. They can do something special for the Dallas Cowboys, and I hope as we are waiting to get another we can be a good contender of the season. They tried to sign more players on defensive side, and in NFL draft we selected more players on defensive side. So we hope that after living of the new defensive coordinator Christian Parker, there is something that is going to change. So that's what we are waiting. And Jerry Jones has said that this year, this new season is going to be a revolution season for the Dallas Cowboys. We can wait, and of course we can predict more from this upcoming new season, and with new images in the Dallas Cowboys. So, we have a new defensive coordinator, and one of the big questions that we faced last season, it was the weakness in the defensive side, and we decided to fire Eberflus and sign new coordinator in the defensive side. So he tried to sign players who will understand his system that he brings in the Dallas Cowboys. And in this draft, we tried to select players on the defensive side so that we can strengthen and rebuild the Dallas Cowboys defensively. As offensively, we are good. We scored more touchdowns last season, but defensively we lost. That's why we didn't qualify for the playoffs. So, Cowboys fans, you may give us your reaction about this NFL draft and how off season is going on right now. We have seen different players who were signed this off season. So we have more players who signed by the Dallas Cowboys, but still, question is on pass rush position. I don't know if front office is still doing something on the edge rush, but we need edge rush. We need edge rush because after trading Micah Parsons, we have a gap on edge rush position. So there was talks with the Max Crosby in recent days, but we don't know if a negotiation is still happening on both sides. But Max Crosby is one of the best, and he's the best edge rush in the NFL, and he was traded by the Raiders, but finally the deal failed. Now he'll turn back to the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Cowboys can do whatever and everything to bring him in the Dallas. But this will happen after trading George Pickens. That's another situation that is restricting the deal of the Max Crosby. George Pickens was tagged on franchise tag to be a player of the Dallas Cowboys on 1 year, but contract discussion with Cowboys failed. To discuss about long-term contract failed. So we are waiting to see if something happened, but it looks like George Pickens will be traded by the Dallas Cowboys because there is no intention of the extending his contract. As officially Jerry Jones said, there is no plan for extending the contract of the George Pickens. So by now he will play for the Dallas Cowboys on tag this upcoming season, but there is much that will be traded. Of course, he will be traded. So that's why he is not in the plan of the Dallas Cowboys. So We have CD Lamb as our first wide receiver, but we need backup for the CD Lamb because, as you see, George Pickens will not stay in the Dallas Cowboys, so we need another